preparation of post and core in this video. So let us see what is the definition of post and core first. So it's a one-piece foundation restoration for an endodontically treated tooth that comprises a post within the root canal and a core that is replacing the missing corneal structure to form the tooth preparation. So post, also known as dowel, is actually a cylindrical or the tapered object that fits into your prepared root canal, while core is the buildup of the restoration, usually made up of amalgam or composite that is placed in a tooth which is very compromised in structure to restore the bulk of the corneal portion of the tooth, to facilitate subsequent restoration by means of an indirect extracorneal restoration like a crown over it. So if you use the post, are you strengthening the tooth by using a post? No, not really. Because when you insert the post inside the canal, you have to create more space inside the canal. When you create the space, that means you're cutting more of the tooth structure. So post doesn't provide any strength to your restoration. Post is actually just giving retention to the core. That's a function of the post. So basically we should know that when we should use a post. So evaluation of whether a post is needed or not, it is mainly based on how much natural tooth substance remains to retain a core buildup and support the final restoration after you have done the caries removal and the endodontic treatment is all completed. So for the anterior teeth, post may not be required if there is just a minimum loss of tooth structure and it was restored very conservatively. So once you have done the RCT, you can just plug the access opening by using your amalgam or your composite, mostly the composite for the interiors. But post and core is going to be indicated for an interior if there is a large or multiple corneal restoration, the marginal ridges have undermined, or required form of color changes that cannot be affected by bleaching or resin bonding, or the incisors when they are used as an abutment for FPD or RPD, or when they are going to receive a crown. Now for the posterior teeth, endodontically treated tooth, mostly they do not require post and core, but they should have a cuspal coverage in most of the cases after you do the endo. However, if you see more than 50% of tooth structure is destroyed, it would go for a crown. So post are indicated in molar when a large percentage of corneal structure is missing and teeth is at a risk of fracture. So in case if the post is placed in the molar root, the distal canal is considered to be best for placing a post in mandibular molar, and palatal canal of maximolar is best in case of maximolar. They are the best canal for the post placement. Now the principle for the post and core is definitely preserving the tooth structure as much as possible, then retention form, the resistance form. So preparing the tooth structure, prepare the canal, and the corneal radicular tooth structure should be conserved as much as possible. So you are going to do minimal removal of the tooth structure to make as much of space just required for the post to fit into the canal. Because more the tooth structure you are removing, it's making your tooth structure weaker. So 6 important features for a design of a post and core is to give a good apical seal, minimum canal enlargement, adequate length of post, positive horizontal stop that will help in minimizing any wedging forces, then vertical walls that will prevent any rotation. So for preservation of the tooth structure, you have to prepare the canal, preparation of the corneal tissue. So if more than 2 mm of corneal tooth structure is remaining, then post design will give a little role in the fracture resistance. The retention is influenced by length of the post, diameter and taper of the post design itself. So retention is referring the ability of the post to resist any vertical dislodging forces, while resistance is the ability of the post and the tooth to withstand any lateral and the rotational forces. That again depends upon the length of the post, the rigidity, the presence of any anti-rotation features we have, or presence of ferrule. So rotational resistance, areas where the corneal dentin has been completely lost. What you are doing, you are putting a small groove in the canal, and that will help in giving a anti-rotational element. You usually place the groove where the root is bulkiest, usually on the lingual side. Now, ferrule is a very important topic. You always have a question on ferrule. So, ferrule is like a vertical band of the tooth structure surrounding. The ferrule should be minimum 1 to 2 millimeter high. It has parallel and the axial wall and completely encircle the tooth surrounding and not invade the attachment apparatus of the tooth. This is very important. So, where you have the attachment, where the pedial fibers are attached, your crown should not encroach on it, right? So, crown should always have at least 3 millimeter clearance so that it is not encroaching on the biological width, because if it hits on the biological width, what will happen? It will lead to recession and you can lose the tooth or the abutment. So, you can see the ferrule height you usually keep 1 to 2 millimeter so that the forces of occlusion, they go on the pedial and the underlying bone rather than on the post and core directly. The apical 1/3 of the preparation, the ferrule, the greatest retention and resistance of the restoration. So, let's say you do not have enough tooth structure to make a ferrule. So, in that cases, you can do surgical crown lengthening procedure or orthodontic extrusion so that you have enough tooth structure to create a ferrule, and at the same time it is not encroaching on the biological width. So, the purpose of the ferrule is the one. So, this is the ferrule that is going to give the fracture resistance to your tooth, because then your crown is going to engage the ferrule rather than lying on the root structure. So, this is the ferrule that actually gives the resistance form to the tooth structure and decreases the chances of fracture of the root. So, it is going to reduce the chances of fracture and increase the mechanical resistance of your post, core or crown by reducing the potential for displacement for the rotation, and also reduces the compressive stresses that can fall within the labial dentin and the canal wall. So, if you don't have a proper ferrule, it can lead to root fracture, failure of the cement that's used for bonding, and post loosening and the post fracture itself.